Yo, how's it going, guys? My name is Top Secret R35, and in today's video we're going to be building a gaming PC from start to finish. Hopefully the thumbnail that brought you to this video was a working PC, because at the moment all I have is parts laying all over the place. I do want to say that I am not an expert in this, so don't see this as a tutorial. It's more of a vlog of what I did, and if anything goes wrong, you will know what not to do, because I will tell you what went wrong. Once I figure it out, of course. So my anxiety is through the roof. I've been putting this off for a long time now. I've got all the parts. It's time to get started. Let's go. All parts will be in the description, but just to give you guys a visual outline, we'll build up the motherboard with the processor, RAM, two M.2 SSDs, and the mounting bracket for the AIO. At that point, we'll install the motherboard and hook up as many cables as possible while we still have the space inside the case. We'll then connect the 10 fans as well as the AIO into the case. Lastly, we'll install the graphics card, rebuild the case just a little bit, and get ready for the first power on. It is time to get going. So, I've seen videos of this being done millions of times. I've got the triangles lined up. We are going to install the processor. Whew! Thankfully, that went pretty smooth. So the same way that I build my cars in GTA Online, that's the approach I'm taking with this computer. Do all the easy things first, and then we'll dive into the things that take more time. So right now, we're installing the RAM. This is two 16 gigs for 32 gigs total. I might upgrade in the future, but I don't know if that's going to be necessary. I hate installing RAM here. I really have to push like really hard. Anyway, those clips are in, that's in, so that should be all good. So I installed one M.2 already, and I actually put a little heatsink on it. Very easy, all the instructions are there. I didn't record that, but just to show you guys how little I know, I thought that they shorted me the screws for the M.2, but you actually only need one. Put the standoff in, one over there for the size of your M.2. So all this does is it goes in, you'll see it'll flap up like that, and then that back bracket there actually aligns perfectly with the screw. So we can go ahead, we can put that in. So that heatsink was obviously for heat, but also for aesthetics. The case doesn't come with a heatsink up there, but it does come with one on this side. So thankfully I turned this around, because I would have missed this. I wonder how many people forget that. These screws were extremely tight. I don't know if that's on purpose or not. I'm assuming it wasn't. That was just, it was almost like it was seized. Now the thing is, I do actually have an electric screwdriver, but I'm saving that for, you know, more of the hardware stuff, not for this sensitive things like this. I went ahead and installed the motherboard into the case. So pretty simple, the standoffs were already there. All I had to do was screw it in, don't over tighten it, and ta-da. So the one thing I came across, or the one thing I thought, is that I don't want to wire everything at the end and have it be extremely overwhelming. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wire as I go along to make my life a bit easier. So here we have power LED, plus negative, reset SW, and power SW. So these are the case's front I/O connectors. This stuff over here for the most part. Now if you look at the case manual, it says that the polarity does not matter, only on the LED headers. Hence, this over here has the plus and negative. While I was at it, I installed the USB 3.0. That cable could only go in one way. The same with the audio cable from the front over here. Could also only go in one way. So, the first oversight, or I don't know, small thing that I missed, we have a USB Type-C over there, which leads to this cable over here. And sadly, or not so sadly, I don't really care that much, this motherboard does not have a port for that. So, too bad. Let's move on. So now we're getting into some serious hardware, and I am seriously a bit scared about this because there's a lot of work to do here. I am going to be installing my AIO, and is going to go onto the CPU, obviously, to cool it, and we'll have the radiator on top, and all that jazz. So obviously, if you're doing this, I recommend like watching an actual how-to video on how to do it. I'm going to show you guys a hyperlapse. So it's time to put my money where my mouth is. With a bit of poor planning and not paying attention, I accidentally swiped off all the pre-applied thermal paste that came at the back of this AIO. It would have been easy for me to just put that on without having to apply thermal paste onto the CPU, but that happened, so I had to rush down to my local thermal paste store and put some new ones on. So now we're looking like a PC now. In that interim, I did put on the rear fan over there. So we've got 4 fans to connect already, and I might get into that here shortly. But first, I'm going to figure out, this here needs to go to the CPU fan. This here is a 3-pin connector, and I only have 4-pin connectors. And I'm telling you guys now, that bracket over there will not be allowed to. Alright, so quick recap here. There are 3 cables that come out of that AIO. So there's 2 attached to this one and then 1 very thin one here. So shout out to my homie, Night Huntsman Gaming. I called him thinking that it was impossible for that CPU fan plug to actually connect to the motherboard. It turns out it was very possible, and I was just having a mild little stress attack over there. And then here, coming around to the back side, here's that cable I was telling you about. So the one goes into your commander core. That's a proprietary cable, so that's the only thing that's going to fit into there. And then the other one goes into a USB header, which I found at the bottom of my motherboard. Let's take a quick second to look at how all the fans will be connected. So if I show you guys how to connect one, pretty much that's how all the other 9 will be connected, because I'll have 10 in total. 6 on incoming, 3 in the front, 3 on the side, and then 3 on the radiator for exit, and then the one at the back. So 10 in total. So it's pretty straightforward. Each Corsair fan has an RGB hub, and then I believe it to be a power. So if you look at this one over here, this one here actually has the label on 2 RGB, and then this one over here, I believe that's a power connector of some sort, like the one that we put in earlier on. So my motherboard only has 2 USB slots, right? So my AIO already occupied one. You guys saw that I put that in. With my, I believe the AIO, I got this 2-split connector here. So I can have 2 USB faces connected. So that gives me 3 in total. I'm actually going to have to get another splitter because I need another one for my Lian Lee strimmer lights, which are unnecessary, but I want to make this thing look like a Christmas tree. Anyway, back to business. As you can see, I have those 2 coming out. One goes to the RGB HUD from Corsair, and the other one went to, I believe this is called the Commander Pro, that came with the AIO. So 6 RGB connectors over here, and then another 6 over here. I'll only need 10 of them. And then for the power, I have 2 fan splitters over here, so I can connect all the fan splitters. And then that's it. Obviously, I did not mention that this needs a SATA power, and then this here also needs a SATA power. So I had heavy stress about this, like how the flip does all this work. And I watched a couple of videos, and they make it pretty simple for you, but it's even more simple when it's sitting like right in front of your face. So yeah, don't stress about that. The most exciting part of the build, for me anyway, time to install the graphics card. So that was a little bit of a struggle, and truth be told, I think I have the right screws in there. They came with the graphics card themselves, so I am not surprised that there is a little bit of sag. You can take a look at that spirit level over there. If I lift it up just a little bit, that's where it should be. This thing is heavy, so yeah, I'm gonna get one of those little risers or something. Alright guys, again, in the name of transparency, I cheated on you guys just a little bit. Let me show you. The last little clip I had was me installing the graphics card. Since then, I have installed all the fans in the case. So 3 incoming in the front, 3 incoming on the side. And I've also gone ahead and connected the power supply unit. Now, I must say that those things were very easy and it was more just super cumbersome and a lot of work. You guys should be able to figure that out. I mostly want to focus this video on problems that I have had. Another drawback, or maybe not so much a drawback, but my motherboard does not have a 3-pin 5-volt connector on it at all. It only has 4-pin. So I bought a converter just in case I want to be able to use this, which would connect my RGB of my graphics card to my motherboard. It's also an optional thing for the Lian Strimmer V2 cables that I'm going to install. Obviously, I'm not going to keep this like this with the cables running out of the damn case. So I have that on the way just in case I need it. And lastly, to be honest with you guys, I am just stalling. I can actually plug this damn thing in now. It is actually plugged in. I just have to flip the power switch and put the thing on. I'm just like kind of nervous. I did get a new GPU holder. The one that the card came with was just really bulky. That one looks nice and sleek. Okay, I guess the next thing I do is I'm going to turn this thing on. Oh my goodness. No freaking ways. Gee whiz. Alright. All 10 fans are spinning. 22 degrees Celsius on the CPU. Red Devil is alive. RAM is good. Holy smokes. So I figured out that I have to turn on the monitor. Oh, by the way, new wide 3440 by 1440 IPS LG monitor here, 1 millisecond response time. The Asseto Corsa should look good on this. So everything that's supposed to be here seems to be here. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to mess around here. I'm going to turn it off and put my windows in, and I'll take care of that. And the next time you guys will see me is probably in a few seconds. But for me, I'm going to have all my strimmer lights and all that stuff, and I'll show you guys like the final look. Oh, man, I am so chuffed. This looks flippin' insane, man. It's insane. Oh my goodness, guys. The PC is finally done. I think it took me as long as it took the entire video just to put in these Lian lights. So some advice is to have the GPU cords completely free, so you can have them as long as possible, otherwise they bunch up. I think I'm just learning that I maybe should have gotten a bigger case for the amount of things that I have inside here. So it's been 24 hours since the last clip. Everything is working as it should be now. The only thing I still have to do is install my SSD from my old computer. I hope I have enough space inside here. I think I don't. And then I need to just sync the graphics card with the motherboard so that the RGB can work together. Oh my goodness, man, I'm tired. This has been a long journey. I still have a bit of work to do in this office. We're still getting a sim rig that's going to go right over there. Sorry about the darkness. And then we have a whole bunch of nanoleaf lights and things like that that's going to go over here. So I mean, you guys will be seeing a lot of this. I'll be making shorts and all that stuff, but this was just a build video of how I put it all together. Any questions, concerns, let me know, man. Let me know. I did have one problem with the BIOS being set up over here, but I changed some settings and then it just suddenly worked. I don't know enough about it to actually explain it. Well, guys, my first ever PC build. Straight into the deep end, I'd say, yeah? Check that out. El Supra. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.